Hey y'all, this is Paul from Indianapolis with you again, and just here to share another video just about collecting cards and just adding cards to collections. And today I have sitting in front of me here a stack of cards. There was a generous gift from a coworker. You may remember from previous episode that I am a teacher, and one of my fellow teachers is a fifth grade teacher, Will Shaw, who's taught one of my kids. Also grew up collecting sports cards, and he grew up in Cincinnati, and he's a big Reds fan. And so he was back home for the weekend and was just looking through some cards and pulled and set some cards aside that he thought I would be interested in, and my boys. And so this is a stack of cards that he gave me on a Monday morning, which sometimes, as you know, Monday mornings can be slow or hard to get going for work or school or whatever it be, but it was a nice little boost and something fun to look at with my fourth grade son who was with me. But these are a gift from Will, and later that day it was just fun to listen to him share his stories. He grew up out on the west side of Cincinnati and grew up about 2 miles away from Shoeless Joe's sports card store. If you're ever in Cincinnati, you can check it out, or those who are from the Cincinnati area watching this may have gone there already, but he grew up about 2 miles away and just rode his bike there regularly throughout the summer and would just hang out there for hours and just shared stories about his fun collecting, ripping packs and boxes and just seeing what you get. So he was very generous to share and give some of these cards to us, and it definitely has a Cincinnati flavor because that was his PC. And I do want to shout out and just acknowledge a few stations as I've been watching videos that I've gotten to know that have a Cincinnati Reds focus. One is Peacemaker Cards. Dave and I've emailed just a little bit, and I'm in Indianapolis. I'm one state away, and he definitely collects a lot of Cincinnati Reds, and if you're curious and want to learn more about it, you can watch his videos as well as at Rob Cash Cards. I've watched just a few of his videos, but he's in the Cincinnati area, and as well the Cincinnati Kid. You could watch his videos as well. They all talk about Cincinnati Reds, the Big Red Machine, the 1990 team, and they know way more about the Reds than I do. And I'm not a Reds fan, but I've actually come to appreciate and respect them more. Respect isn't the right word. Appreciate them more listening to these guys just talk about the fun and the memories they have of collecting and watching the Reds. So at the very least, just give them just subscribe to them. But feel free to check them out if you want to learn more about the Cincinnati Reds, their team, their history, their players, and those guys I just mentioned, or anybody else who's Cincinnati Reds fan watching this, will feel free to comment on any way I err, or if I ask any questions out of just ignorance, feel free to. Just add in the comments anything else. But I'm just going to start with these cards. I've kind of divvied them up between myself, my 16-year-old son, and my 10-year-old son. So this first one, actually, I'm thankful that Will was willing to share this because this is a really nice card, and this falls in line with my 66 to 71 Orioles focus. And even though this card is not vintage, it is actually a relic. Let me see if I can make sure you can see that, of Frank Robinson. It is a vintage. It is his pants. His jersey pants that are inside there. So there is a vintage element within this modern card. And so it's numbered out of 20. Got some of Frank Robinson's pants here. Don't know how to feel about that. Excited to have something old and something of his. So this is from 2011 Topps Tribute. But this card is super cool. I'm really thankful and excited to have this. And we'll just hold on to this and just keep this and include this within my Orioles 66 to 71 collection. So that one I am keeping for myself, and I'll place that over here on the side. The next card is as well I'm keeping, and this is actually a card of Chuck Harmon, and he was the first African American to play for the Cincinnati Reds back in, I think, 1953. Will told me that he got this card in the mail from him. This must have been left over from a Cincinnati Reds promotion, or that he just had made that he could mail back to people who mailed and asked for his autograph. So Chuck Harmon's an interesting guy. I mean, all these guys have great stories, and to me that's fascinating, and I enjoy getting to know this about the players. I didn't know anything about Chuck Harmon. I had no idea who he was. I think I'd seen him through scrolling on eBay. But he was actually from Washington, Indiana, which is the southern part. And he won the state championship in basketball 2 years in a row, which, having lived here for now close to 20 years, basketball is huge here in Indiana. And so it's a big deal. If you've seen the movie Hoosiers, that gives you just a glimpse into it. But he won the title twice. He played college basketball as well as baseball. Played at the University of Toledo, I think. And the NBA integrated in 1951, and he tried out for the Boston Celtics before he really moved forward with his baseball career. He didn't make it. But there was more to the basketball story that I won't share. He also did play briefly with the Indianapolis Clowns, and to me, it's just kind of funny just learning these stories of just how players did in the past who were trying to play college sports as well as semi-pro or professional sports, and how they had names, and he played baseball under a different name. So it's just kind of fun. Larry Doby, I think, did the same thing for a year, first semester, to play with the Newark Eagles. But Chuck Harmon, feel free to explore, learn more about him. I think he's worth getting to know. He's got a pretty fun story, and I'll get more of his cards, or at least one other card, and share a story on him at some point. So those 2 cards are going to me. The next 3 or 4 cards are going to my 10-year-old. And Will was very generous in sharing this card, especially since Pete Rose just passed recently. But this is a Leaf unlicensed auto of Pete Rose. And I mean, this guy may end up in the Hall of Fame soon. No idea what's going to happen with his future, but it's cool to have this card, and my 10-year-old has this. And Will did, and he also added this Pete Rose, this 85 Topps Pete Rose. But I'm thankful that Will was willing to add that if you want to sell any of these cards, feel free to. And so my 10-year-old will probably sell this card. He's not a baseball fan, really. But he has a Pete Rose auto, and I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm sure it'll go up more, but to me, Pete Rose was like the engine, maybe the heart and soul, I don't know, of the Cincinnati Reds and of the Big Red Machine. Cincinnati fans, feel free to throw in. To me, it'd be fascinating the roles that the players played. I'm sure they all played different kinds of roles. Like I could see Bench and Morgan being the heart and soul of the team, as well as I could see Rose being. He was like the engine that would never quit, and you saw that on the field. So this was a really cool card and a gift from Will that my 10-year-old will enjoy. I'll put that over there, along with this 85 Topps Pete Rose. He also gave this this patch. It's replica patch commemorating either the 50th or 60th anniversary of Jackie Robinson playing in the 1953 All-Star Game in Cincinnati. So my 10-year-old does know about Jackie Robinson and is fascinated about his story and history. And so he picked this card and found it interesting. And I think the patch, I love the old symbol of the Reds, or the red legs. I love the old images. I'm blanking on the term, mascots that are on the old cards, whether it be baseball, football. I find really fascinating. So we picked out this card from 1953 Major League Baseball All-Star. I'll try to hold that so you can see it. There you go. So he also picked that card. And then Will gave a couple of 2017 Topps Archive cards that were autographed, stamped, numbered. This one's numbered 99 of Frank Viola. I remember him seeing pitch for the Twins, but he also gave that card, and my son got that. So that's a really cool card that he can have. I mean, I've probably got 10 to 15 of these cards back home from all the junk wax that I opened up from my younger years. So those cards went to my 10-year-old, and then my 16-year-old took 2 cards here. Here's a Sandy Alomar Jr., numbered out of 53. I remember looking for this rookie growing up in 89 Topps. Signed and autographed, pretty cool card here. And then he got to finish up with Ken Griffey Jr., who finished his career in Cincinnati and played where his father played. And I think that's really cool that he played where his father really, his name became more known through the Big Red Machine and appreciated for his skills and talents on the field. So here's a Ken Griffey 89 Donruss rookie for my 16-year-old to enjoy. So those are the cards that he gave, and I'm just really thankful, and it's just fun to get a little trip down memory lane for my friend, hearing his stories, but also learning more about the Reds. And I did want to note one more thing with Chuck Harmon. It's been fun for me to learn about how many Major League players also played other sports at the time, were stars in basketball or football. I mean, at some point I'm going to do a video on Major League players who also played basketball at a higher successful level. I mean, Chuck Harmon did. I found out that Robin Roberts played basketball at Michigan State. Brooks Robinson had basketball offer scholarship to the University of Arkansas. Frank Robinson was a teammate of Bill Russell. Dave Winfield played basketball at the University of Minnesota. I think I might have that one wrong. I know he played football. Might have played basketball. But there's all kinds of players, and y'all can feel free to share more that played, that was really successful at basketball as well. Larry Doby was. He was really good at basketball and probably could have done something with that. But once Jackie Robinson was allowed to play in major leagues, he was going to chase that dream, and that opened door for him. So I just wanted to say that as well. Just that pattern I've noticed in some of these old-timers, players of the golden generation and players that I'm learning about and collecting, that they were also really successful in other sports, whether it be basketball, football, whatever it be. So thank you very much for joining me on this video, and thanks again to Will. Feel free to check out Peacemaker cards, Rob Cash cards, the Cincinnati Kid, and at least give him a subscribe, if not some looks and comments. And thank you for going down this little road to a little history of the Cincinnati Reds. And thanks again to Will and my son, once again, my 16-year-old, helping me out with this. Hope you all have a great day and weekend. Bye.